We will fight tooth and nail to ensure that our nation never forgets the sacrifices miners made to power this country. I don't know how you come to any other conclusion but that Trump is forgetting the sacrifices that coal miners have made.
Let's talk about this NYOSH stuff. You know, we've been talking about the cuts to NYOSH for the last several weeks. We did interview some people who work for the National Institutes of Occupational Safety and Health, members of the union there. That agency is being demolished. 2/3 of the staff are being laid off, including most of the staff who do these lung cancer screenings, the black lung screenings. And so that program has been cut. This article from CBS News says West Virginia coal miners lose black lung screenings after Trump slashes the worker safety agency NYOSH. And they talk about how, you know, people in the area are really concerned. Marion Tennant, who, says he was destined to work in the mines, talked about how important it has been for him to be able to get these black lung screenings, and how he's afraid for younger workers. He told CBS that what's going to happen, I'm afraid, is our younger ones, before they realize what they've done to their body, they're going to have black lung, and the numbers is going to rise. NYOSH employee, Catherine Blackwood, PhD scientist at the NYOSH facility in Morgantown, West Virginia, said, "I'm angry that we are just being cast aside." Her job was eliminated April 1st, along with over 200 others at the facility, from the people who oversee mine safety to those who study cancer-causing chemicals in firefighters. The PhD scientist said, "I'm really worried and fearful about what the impacts are going to be on the rest of us." And so this is really difficult to kind of understand the reasoning for this. It's just so cruel. And, I mean, I don't even know if there is a single other state in the country who voted for Trump in higher numbers than West Virginia, and in higher numbers than West Virginia coal miners, right? And West Virginia coal miners have seen black lung rates increase substantially. When we talked to the NYOSH folks, we mentioned how just 15 to 20 years ago, only 1 in 30 coal miners developed black lung after 20 years in the mines. Only 1 in 30. Right? That is, I mean, it's still too high, right? We need to work to get that down because black lung is just a terrible, terrible disease. There is no cure for it. You can only slow its progression. But slowing its progression, these cancer screenings are really important in being able, these black lung screenings are really important in being able to slow its progression. But now that rate has gone from 1 in 30, just 15 to 20 years ago, to 1 in 5 today. 20% of coal miners in the Appalachia region are going to develop black lung after 20 years in the mines. That's where the number is at today. With all of these cuts to black lung screening, to other programs protecting coal miners, to the Mine Safety and Health Administration, to the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, to all of those, that there is no way that number is going to do anything but go up.
Hey, 5 seconds, just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
And so in response to some of the continued attacks on NYOSH, the UMWA issued a statement with UMWA President Cecil Roberts saying, "What happened at NYOSH is nothing short of shameful, telling hardworking, dedicated employees that they no longer have a job at 6:30 p.m. on a Friday after the workday is done and with no forewarning is cowardly, heartless, and utterly unacceptable." And that is another thing about this is just, in addition to this being bad for the people outside of the agency, right? This is going to be really bad for coal miners. This is going to be really bad for people whose family are coal miners. It's also bad for the people who work at NYOSH, and it's being done in just Like Roberts said, I mean, cowardly, heartless, unacceptable. Roberts continued, "Let me be clear, this is not just an attack on jobs. This is an attack on the very foundation of worker safety in the United States of America. The dismantling of the Respiratory Disease Division at NYOSH is not just a bureaucratic shuffle. It is the elimination of our nation's leading defense against black lung disease and other respiratory illnesses that afflict miners and workers across this country. This division is responsible for developing life-saving coal dust and silica monitors. It runs the miner X-ray surveillance program. It oversees MSHA's Part 90 program, a program that literally exists to save the lungs and lives of American coal miners. Now, with the stroke of a pen and the cowardice of an evening layoff notice, those protections are being stripped away. Who is going to monitor dust levels in our mines? Who will ensure the next generation of miners doesn't end up with the same black lungs as their fathers and grandfathers? The United Mine Workers of America will not stand silently by while decades of progress are gutted overnight. This isn't just detrimental, it's catastrophic. It's detrimental to coal miners, detrimental to American workers, detrimental to American families. The UMWA's number one focus has always been and always will be the health and safety of our members. We will fight tooth and nail to ensure these programs are restored, these protections are preserved, and that our nation never forgets the sacrifices miners made to power this country. And I don't know how you come to any other conclusion but that Trump is not remembering and is forgetting the sacrifices that coal miners have made to power this country and are still making to power this country. It's just so gross. And Blandscape in the chat says, the reasoning is tax cuts for billionaires and Republican Party donors. No need to overthink the painfully obvious. Yeah, that's true. I mean, and they're all but saying it too, right? I mean, they're coming out with these budgets that cut all sorts of stuff, and they're talking about huge tax cuts for wealthy people.
It is a wealth transfer upwards. And they are unleashing what little guardrails companies, have to abide by, right? We have certain guardrails in this country which are insufficient compared to a lot of other modern advanced economies, but even those are being taken away, and really capital is being unleashed to behave as reckless as they want.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.